tools! Duct tape, zip ties, and gloves! I have to have my tools!
Well, why do you have a bunch of, like, weird tools in a hidden compartment in your car?
Fetish shit! I like to bind, I like to be bound! I'm not...
I made a chronal accelerator. I'm sure I can do this. To all agents of Overwatch. That's not right. To the former agents of Overwatch. This is Winston. Obviously. 30 years ago, the Omnics declared war. The nations of the world had no answer until they called upon a small group of heroes. Overwatch was created to rescue humanity from the Omnic crisis. We became the greatest champions of peace and progress mankind has ever seen. You were chosen because you had powers and abilities that made you... You joined because you... You already know this. Look, the people decided they were better off without us. They even called us criminals. They tore our family apart. But look around! Someone has to do something! We have to do something! We can make a difference again. The world needs us now, more than ever. Are you with me?
What is a conspiracy? Now, there's many examples of conspiracies in the past, but I've created my own. And my conspiracies are more just like, I guess, kind of just emotional conspiracies, not really like genuine. Like, one of them I 100% stand behind, and the other one, I don't even know what I was on when I was thinking of it. But before I get into that, let's just talk about general conspiracies that everybody's heard of. Like, you got the bad ones like 9/11, JFK, and Princess Diana. Now, I'm not gonna get into those because those are too dark and like intense and serious that I'm not gonna even touch it with a 10-foot pole because those are just way out of my league. But, I mean, we got the Roswell incident, which I can definitely talk about. I got a lot to talk about with aliens, but we'll get into that after I'm done talking about the Roswell incident. Then you got the crash. But my own thing with that conspiracy is that they did actually come out and say that they covered it up in the beginning. And my thought is, even if it is a cover-up, even if there are aliens and all this stuff, like now, because even if like the second thing where they came out and they covered it up with another cover-up or something, why does it matter? Because aliens definitely exist, but not like the style of aliens that come across in movies and television and stuff like that. Like, it's not that kind of alien. I'm thinking it's more just like bacterials and stuff like that. You get like the little micro aliens. You don't got extreme Megamind looking bastards. You don't got them. And the thing that makes me irritated with the scientific community and all that is that their IQ is extremely high. They're smart as all hell, but they're not smart people. Like, the thing with the modern man, anytime a dude with glasses comes up and says anything, normally they're taken like way more serious than they should be. Or you get like big names like fucking Neil deGrasse Tyson and Bill Nye saying something. And the thing with them is that I don't like them. Because anything that involves like a 10-gallon words and stuff like that, like, and you try to make yourself seem a lot smarter than you truly are, because you might be smart in your field. Like, granted, you are. You have the like diplomas and everything that you can prove it. But you're not smart when it comes to communities. When it comes to like everybody around us, you're not smart with it. If I threw Bill Nye and Neil deGrasse Tyson into a farmland and told them to go and make some corn and all that, they would just throw up their hands and give up or something along those lines. Or it would take years for them to master that kind of deal. And that's how most of the world is, man. Like, everybody has their own talents. Everyone's better at something than somebody else, basically. Like, I'm probably better at talking than my brothers are. Maybe not 100%, because I've never been around my brothers when they did like public speaking. But overall, I've always felt that I'm a lot more, in tune with how I speak than, they are. I mean, I'm not with them 100% of the time, but still. But when it comes to the scientific community, most scientists deny the fact that there's any style of alien. Like, they don't want to even touch it. The idea that there's even even a species that could exist out there. They don't want to say anything. And my idea is that they are 100% under the knowledge that there is something out there. Because in the paper that came out a few weeks ago, maybe months ago, but I know I read something along the lines of, there was a thing outside of our own solar system that did not seem like a meteorite. I'm really putting this in like layman's terms because there were pages on it, but the main gist of it was there's something out there that could be an alien, but it's probably not. But most things outside of our own Earth is alien to us. And you also got the moon landing, which, like, the whole idea of that being filmed, it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, because, like, why would you film, why would you fake that? Like, is the only reason for, like, publicity? Because if that's the fact, then I guess, whatever, do your thing. I guess it's just my thought process. I just don't care if that was faked. Because it's like, we now have the technology to be able to do that. Like, we've landed on Mars before. We've sent robots and stuff onto the planet to do whatever. And scope out living creatures and all that. We've done that shit. We're fine now. Like, back in the past, I guess it was more just like a we did it first kind of thing, I guess. Plus, why would you? At least to me, it just doesn't make sense. I don't really get it. If somebody else that actually knows a lot more about it is like watching this right now, put it down in the comments, I guess, because then I'll at least figure that one out. But I guess it opens up to a conspiracy I got, and I'll open up with the one that I don't 100% stand behind, but I kind of think it's true, kind of. And that's that the world ended in 2012. But not the style of, like, world ending as you think, like, as just it's been written in movies. I'm thinking that it's more of just like a blood moon style end. You know? Like, everybody kind of just... And by everybody, I mean the general population just kind of got a little bit more angry over, like, a course of a week. By the time that, like, the Mayan calendar ended, everybody just kind of gained a little bit more toxicity in their bodies. But maybe it's just because I grew up over the course of a few years, so over the time things just seemed a lot more hatred than they like hated and angry and more than it should have been. But that's probably just my perception of it. But this all came over like the course of a few weeks. It didn't like, it wasn't gradual. It wasn't like a gradual shift to where we are now. Like, you got politics and stuff that just shot up over the course of a few years, and it shouldn't, at least to me, shouldn't have came out that way. Like, yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can talk about, but to the point where, like, people are complaining about, like, such minimalist stuff, like, I had, like, countless examples, but you can literally just go on Twitter and just scroll a handful of times, and you'll find one that's way better than what I can bring up. I'm not even, like, I'm not trying to make this come out as something that's way more important than it is, because honestly, it's not important to me. I don't care what people talk about, what people do with themselves. But my idea is that most people don't really care about anything that the two extreme minorities, like the right and the left, and all that in America. I'm talking mostly in America, because I don't know about other countries. Because I know, like, in Japan and stuff, they got their own shit going on. Here, we got just two sides of each extreme, just always yelling over each other, and then everybody else is just kind of in the middle of everything, and trying to just kind of keep each other at a grounded level, but it's not working ever. Because the people within the middle, like I am, because I took, like, the test, I took the spectrum test of, like, what political stance you actually lean more towards, and I'm, like, directly in the middle. And I don't agree with just the left or just the right. That's basically what it is. Being centrist does not mean that you kind of half agree with both sides. It's just that, like, I guess it's more of like a pick and choose of what you agree with more than you... That's just how it works for me. But, like, every political stance, you're always going to agree with something else on the other side, no matter what you are. That's basically how it works. Politics is bullshit to me. And politics should not have been such an important thing in people's lives as it is now. It should be important. But it should only be important to the people that, like, actually affecting, truly. Like, it's affecting all of us. But in the grand scheme of things, the general population does not need to have to deal with the same conversation over and over and over again. At least in my own opinion. But this could just be because I'm a white cis man who just hasn't left his hometown that much, you know? It could just be that, honestly. But, I mean, like, I could be just speaking for myself. But I just don't care what a person's race, gender, or sexuality is. And the fact that those are, like, normally... I'm just speaking as, like, a, you know, straw man here. But if those three are your main personality, I don't hate you. Keep in mind, I don't hate anybody, really. If anything, I hate, like, one or two people in my entire life, and it's not even with my whole heart. It's like, I just try to ignore it most of the time. But I don't hate anybody that has any opposing opinions to me. I don't care that much about any of this, because nobody truly should. It's life. We're basically 0.0000001% of the whole timeline of humanity. We've been here for over 2 billion years, or million. Somewhere that we've been here for a very long time. That's the main gist of it. We've been here for a very long time. And we live to, like, what, 120? So this whole thing is like a Thanos snap away from us being passed. Like, our timeline is just gonna crack at some point, you know? So why take anything this seriously? But anyway, if those 3 personality traits, like your sexuality, your gender, and your race, are the only thing that drive you to do anything, most people won't really care or hear you out. But if you put something up more on the table, like a good way of speaking, and you know, you get like a lot more charisma in the whole deal, you know? Like take RuPaul for example. He's one of the most charismatic bastards I've ever seen in my life. Like, I've seen a lot of charismatic people, don't get me wrong. But RuPaul, like, takes it to an extreme. Like, he is... I don't know what it is about him, but every time I watch him on TV, I can't stop watching. Like, he drags you in. Even without saying any words, he still drags you in. And that's coming from the straight dude. That's coming from me. It's coming from the white basic boy. Anyway, it kind of brings me to my final, what is it called? I guess controversy? No, it's not controversy. I'm already fucking losing my brain by talking about this stuff. Conspiracy. There we go. Found the word. I'm not cutting that out. Conspiracy. Final. To have fun playing games or watching TV is to just try and have fun. It's a conspiracy. It's a very funky conspiracy to have, but I stand by that idea. Okay? I stand by that conspiracy. The way to have fun with anything that you actually had fun with before is to try and have fun with the people that you care about. Like, take Overwatch. That's one of the most... the worst games, apparently. Because I've heard so many people within the esports community and the general culture behind the game, even people within the game, like within the company, being like angry at the game. Here's my thing: the game is all right. The game is okay. It is not the best game ever to come out of humanity by any stretch of the imagination. But it is not. It should not have been given this much hatred. There should never have been this much toxicity from anybody. And honestly, the game itself is good. It is a good game. The only reason that you are not having fun with it is because you were told not to have fun with it. Is because every time that Blizzard comes out with a buff and a nerf and all that stuff, and keep in mind, Blizzard is doing everything in their power to make the game fun to people. And they understand that no matter what they do, they're gonna make some people pissed. No matter what you do in any company, like, keep in mind, in movies and TV and stuff, there's a lot more than just 5-6 people sitting around a table, or just those actors. It's a lot more than that. It's like scripts. It's in movies there's like cameramen, lighting, all this stuff. There's a lot of factors that play into literally everything that happens in media in general, and especially in a gaming industry. Overwatch is one of the most like community-based games ever to come out. At least in my opinion, at least in my own eyes, this is all just from my own brain. Keep that in mind, okay? But it is such a nice looking game. Like, the art design is fantastic. The voice acting is good. And overall, the game mechanics and everything are solid. They work. But why is it that everybody has a bad time with it? It's because Blizzard listens to you. Blizzard listened to how many people complained about Mercy being broke in the very, very, very beginning. Every time, they would be like, alright, we're gonna nerf her, make everybody else seem a lot... Like, keep in mind, in the very beginning, everyone was busted. No one made sense, and everybody was kind of just... and just crushed 100% of the time. Like, Roadhog, you can just make people just motion sick in the first few seasons. It's just how it works in the gaming industry. Nothing is ever going to work out as soon as you ship it all out. Even in Red Dead 2, it came out, and the like online feature came out, and the online feature was basically just a shadow of the actual game. It was like a phone game almost, because it had nothing to it. There was nothing good to it, and I know it was called a beta for a reason, but here's my thing: should never ever be a beta coming out into just anybody's hands. It should be like the game testers. It should be a select few executives and all this stuff. Like, there should be like groups that should see the game before the actual one comes out, and then people can give their criticism, and then they can work from there. It should be like that. It shouldn't be beta or alpha or whatever, because that's the like general game. Like, Fortnite was called beta for like 2 years. Like, how is that a beta? It's a full game that you have to pay for with like actual money sometimes to get like skins and stuff. It shouldn't be like that. You should be like, this is an actual game. We're just gonna be improving it through over time. Like, that's just like, just call it what it is. And then you got like TV shows, like you get Game of Thrones and stuff like that, where it's like the final, like they try to appease everybody. And then the finale of Game of Thrones, it didn't impact me at all, but then you get the finale of Big Bang Theory, where it's like actually kind of hit me in the heart a little bit. And I haven't even watched the show since like season 2. I didn't like the show to begin with, but I used to watch it with my grandmother, that's why. So, you know, like it ending and like having that whole like, you know, moment where it's just like, there's just a good feeling coming around to it. It's like they listen to the people and they do all this stuff to help you out. And I'm not gonna say that everything is fantastic with every game or with every movie and everything. It's like, people get shit that like wrong a lot of the time. But keep in mind, humanity is just a fickle beast. Everyone's a dumbass when it comes to humanity. Like, I'm stupid a lot of the time. I failed English, I failed math. I can't do math for the life of me. Other than like probably addition and subtraction are the only thing I'm good at. Even multiplication, I have to like count my fingers to make sure I'm actually getting things right. That's why I have the calendar or like the calculator on my phone. English, I just can't read sometimes. And I'm a man who keeps reading like big ass books and stuff like that. And it takes me like 2 weeks to be able to finish a book, because it's just like I can't sit down and read it because there's so much other stuff I can do. I'm pretty sure I have ADD, but I don't. That's a later thing. That's a personal thing. I'll deal with that later on, but whatever. It doesn't matter. Right now, all that matters is just, as long as everybody understands the company, you can complain about certain game aspects. You can complain about certain TV shows and all this stuff. And that's 100% reasonable. Just don't say the game sucks. Or the game is like ass and all this stuff. The game is okay. It is not great by any means. No game ever is. No game is 100% gonna be the best in humanity. There's no TV show or movie that is 100% the pinnacle of movie making. There's no such thing as that. Because everything is always gonna have some downfall to it. Like, you got Pulp Fiction, that's one of the best movies I've ever watched, and I can still find something to complain about. Just say it. And it's just like, you know, I think that's a good I think that's a good sign to just end that off. So, if you like the video, give it a like, comment, share, do the whole deal, because honestly, I can use that. It actually it has been actually promoting me. Like, the last few videos I have made have actually gotten a little bit more of a boost than I actually expected. So, if you could just keep that up, I would be appreciated. Or I would appreciate it. There we go, that's better. I told you, I failed English. I'm having problems here. But also, you should probably follow my Twitter and my Instagram, because I keep up with a lot of dumb shit. I post a lot of weird pictures of capybaras, because those things are great. Those are one of my favorite animals. I'm not going to talk about those right now, though. Anyway, have fun. Hopefully you had a good day. If you didn't, hopefully this made it better. If it didn't, well then fuck me, I guess. See you later, and I have a good day.
Now that is funny.
Speak, imp. Meet your gods as an honest man.
Where do I begin, my lords and ladies? I am a vile man. I confess it. My crimes and sins are beyond counting. I have lied and cheated, gambled and whored. I'm not particularly good at violence, but I'm good at convincing others to do violence for me. You want specifics, I suppose? When I was 7, I saw a servant girl bathing in the river. I stole her robe, and she was forced to return to the castle, naked and in tears. If I close my eyes, I can still see her tits bouncing.
Here's some sugar peas for my sugar pea. Hope you enjoy it.
And Darnell knew Joy would be happier if she didn't always feel like she was married to a saint.
Bitch, you know I hate peas.